So welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're just going to have a little chat, sit down, mull over the year, what we've been up to, where we're going and what's going on really. So first of all I want to say thank you to everyone for subscribing. I'm shocked by the amount of subscribers we've got, to be honest. At the time of filming this we're up to 110. I know that's not much in the grand scheme of things, but to say that many people want to watch major messing stuff up in the garage, that's surprising really. When I first started this channel I didn't think anyone was going to subscribe or anyone was going to watch us really. Just two guys, we're not mechanics, we're not engineers, we're nothing like that. Joe's a plumber, I work in IT, but I like to come down, work on cars, work on engines, whatnot. What we've been up to this year, it's been a busy one really. We had the MX-5 project, that went better than we could have expected really at the start of the year. So once we put the GT30 on, we took it racing, did some donuts, managed to chop a few cars drag racing, which surprised us. We only built it for the sound, the coolness, but we didn't expect it to be fast. So chopped a couple of cars, some 300 brake cars, which wild. Then we sold that car on. That car was the first car we sold that didn't really lose any money. It got sold for about the same price as what we put into it, so it's surprising. So then the next project, the big one of the year, was the M135i and getting it running for our Nürburgring trip earlier on in the year. So we got that car, it was seized, we threw some new shells in it just to see what happened. That didn't play out very well. It lasted all of 60 miles before we ended up having to rebuild it again. So when we got it back in, sent the crank off for grinding because we suspected that was the issue. Turned out to be well out of true, the crank. So you can go back and see the engine build video, but put some CP pistons in, ZRP rods, full rebuild from the ground up with all new hardware. And that car is really, it's running smooth as butter. And then a couple of months back you saw fitted water meth to it. That was great. I did about 50 brake really when I mapped it. And I've been spending a bit more time using MHD and learning how to map it myself, and yeah, really happy with that car as well. The only downside, it's got some rattles, but you win some, you lose some, don't you really? It's two guys, not mechanic, building cars, and if that's the smallest thing you've got to worry about, is it really all that bad? So I'm really proud of that engine. So we took that car to the Nürburgring, did a couple of laps. From a mechanical standpoint, everything worked perfectly. The only downside is taking the car to the... So we put on EBC RPX pads, and really them pads are so aggressive. We're ending up with big vibrations in the braking zones. The pads were just too much for the car and I guess the chassis to handle. But apart from that, it worked perfectly, ring and back, no dramas, spot on really. And that car's up for sale, so if you want to drop down in the comments below if anyone wants to buy it, go for it. And then onto the M4. So the M4, we tied it up a bit, put the body kit on, and then I fitted RPX pads to that as well. Took that to the Nürburgring. The car was amazing. The only issue we had on that trip was the rear coils snapping. So I put on some lowering springs at the ring. That was fine. Did a couple of laps, smooth as butter. Downside, one of the tighter bits up fell off. So we were doing about 140 down on the straights of the ring, and the splitter flew off. I wouldn't follow the tightening up video for fitted. Yeah, build engines, but we can't fit side skirts to a car. So I'm unsure whether to get a new splitter for it to be honest, or to take it off the side skirts and the rear bit. I don't know if it's a bit too much. I mentioned in one of the previous videos we're going to fit coilovers. I did film fitting the coilovers to the car, but I took the coilovers off after 3 days. They were horrific. So I got BC Racing coilovers. The knocks and bangs from them coilovers didn't do anything for me, so they only lasted 3 days, and I didn't want to post a video about them really because I didn't want to encourage people to buy them if they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. So they're still sat up on the shelf in the garage, the coilovers. I don't think I'm going to fit them back to the car. Did a track day at Cadwell, and the car was just amazing. I'm so happy with it really. Just a standard, decent tyres, decent brakes, and the car handles amazing. More than my driving skill can deal with anyway. So really happy with the car. next year, I don't know what I'll go on, but we'll do some more track days. And if you want to see the track days, leave a comment down below so I know what to film on them, because I'm hoping to do a fair few next year, and if people want to see them and what goes on, I'm more than happy to film that. And we had some tool reviews, so that gets me on to my next point. If there's anything you guys want me to film in the garage, because I don't post that many videos, but I'm in the garage every weekend tinkering with a project here or there. So if there's anything you want me to, you want to see more lathe work, or you want to see mill work or welding work, or if there's any projects, I'm more than happy to film them and post them up for people to see. What have we got on next year? So as I say, we've got more track days coming up. We've got another Nürburgring next year. If people want to see that, I'm happy to film that. And I've bought an S55 engine that's got a top end tick, so I will be doing some videos on that, showing the teardown process and trying to diagnose where the issue is with that engine. If anyone's got any suggestions on what they want me to do with the engine, leave them down below as well, because I'm stuck now between a rock and a hard place. Do I want to just refresh the engine, as in find the ticking noise, probably throw some bearings in it, call it a day, or do I want to build it for 1,000 plus brake, some rods, some pistons? I've got a design for an intake spacer with WaterMeth direct port injection. And if people want to see the CAD stuff as well, I'm more than happy to do some videos on CAD, on making car parts in CAD and then getting someone to machine them out for me. So yeah, but all in all, I think we've had a great year. Next year's hopefully going to be even better, really. If you want to see anything else, drop it down below, and thanks for watching, and thank you for everyone for subscribing. Have a Merry Christmas.